broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey everyone! Welcome to our Sailor Moon after show here at AFTERBUZZ TV, and we are talking Crystal, of course, Act 18. I am, my voice is back, something that just happened. I am Kaori Takee, and with me I've got lovely, beautiful people. Yay. Introduce yourselves.
I'm Megan Salinas. You can tweet at me directly at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin.
And I'm Xander Jeanneret, and you can find me on Twitter at Xanderific, 2 R's, 1 F.
Yes, so you can tweet them along the way, as well as hashtag ABTV Sailor Moon. That's a little long, but that is what it is. And you can follow me at KAORIOUS throughout the show and after all week long, all 2 weeks long until the next one. All right, guys. So overall thoughts of this episode. What'd you guys think?
I liked it. I thought that it moved at a pretty quick pace, like Sailor Moon Crystal usually does. But strangely enough, there was character development for some of our villains, which I wasn't expecting. And the only thing I was kind of annoyed by is that each of these episodes has been kind of about giving each of the Sailor Scouts their own little bit of development, even if sometimes they do it better than others. And this one, Venus got very little development. So that's my only complaint.
Well, I loved this episode. I thought there was a lot of action scenes, there was a lot of fighting, and that you got to see Tuxedo Mask have his power.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and that's always been a part of the manga, but not really in the old anime at all. So, and one of the things that I would counter with that is that we saw the development of both Venus and Tuxedo kind of as foils as each other, foils for each other, because Venus has been a magical girl longer than anyone else, including Sailor Moon. She's been out there as Sailor V, like kicking butt, taking names. So when it came down to it, she was like fed up.
I really liked seeing that, because even though it wasn't like about giving her backstory, she was acting like a general. Right. And that's what we like seeing.
And taking action.
You can totally tell she's kind of the leader of the, sailors.
But in contrast to that, you have Tuxedo Mask, who was never a part of like the Moon Kingdom proper. He was always like the Earth representative and never really had any powers, and was always like doubting himself. And he didn't have his memories or anything like that, but was also fighting crime as just an Earthling in a tuxedo.
Yeah.
Cracking guys across the face with his cane.
And roses, like whatever. But he like came into his own, got a powerful attack, and was able to rescue the people that he cared about. So I think it's both of those developments in this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that overall, so the episode had a lot of information, a lot of cool things, but as a whole, it was a little too cluttered for me. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, oh man, 22 minutes, all of this information. Yeah. I had to watch it 3 times, and I still don't know where to begin with this after show. Not even kidding. So I guess we'll take it from the top.
Sure.
So they started back where Act 17 left off. Sailor Jupiter is gone, and now Venus and Moon are alone together. So we had a lot of Artemis time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. And then they decide, you know what? We need to figure out what the heck is up with Chibiusa.
Which they really should have done as soon as one person did.
Yeah.
They've been twiddling their thumbs on this for a while.
Right. I mean, it's hard to like justify going in and harassing a little girl that's like scared and alone. Like, what do you know? Like going Batman. Tell me where the black moon is.
Well, to be fair, the first encounter with her, she sat there and hypnotized the poor Usagi's family.
Right?
So
and held her at gunpoint.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff.
She like lands. She basically jumps on her, tackles her, and then puts a gun at her. So honestly, I think they would have been justified in like coming up and being, what do you know?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Chibiusa seems to know a lot more than about Usagi than they know that she knows and stuff. But so obviously they end up taking that earring
Yeah, it's kind of an earring crystal doodad.
Yeah, it's part of the black crystal stuff. Yeah.
I actually love how Artemis just transported one to the site to go get it. I thought that was awesome. So they go over to Usagi's place.
Wait, I had a quick comment about that. When I saw it happen, Luna was saying like, "Oh, I'll get a sample for you," and then Artemis is like, "Beep boop beep," and sends it over. I was like, "Luna, you didn't do anything." What do you mean you'll grab a sample?
I like how you did beep boop beep because that's exactly what it is.
Really cute. They don't have thumbs. It's just really adorable.
It's so cute.
So anyway.
No, it was important. It was very, very important.
Like, Luna, don't take credit for what you didn't do.
Interrupt me anytime for Artemis. But yeah, so Usagi and the crew, they go over to Usagi's place and they are trying to confront Chibiusa.
It was just a very small moment, but I really liked the way they didn't show Sailor Venus's face as she's like, "Oh, let's play together."
Yeah.
You could tell she is so livid.
Yeah, she was not happy. And then, obviously the soft Mamu-chan is there, and he has the earring, which ends up freaking Chibiusa out.
Right.
Like she's having a post-traumatic stress disorder flashback.
Yeah. And then they're all shocked that she's scared, and I'm thinking to myself, isn't it obvious that she has something to do with the situation?
Yeah. Because we did get a bit of development with her as well, seeing her comfortable as a normal Earthling. She had her friend Momoka, which we saw for the first time, which means that they're heading in that direction, which will be fun to find out.
She made her friend.
She did.
I thought it was cute how they were talking about a Chinese restaurant, and her friend was wearing a Chinese kimono thing. Yeah, I was like, oh, so cute.
Yeah.
But obviously Chibiusa doesn't really want to reveal much.
Right.
I kind of don't. I know that I get why, because I think she's planning on just stealing the silver crystal and using it for her own. But wouldn't it make a lot more sense to just explain the situation rather than? I mean, either way, you're risking a time paradox.
I totally agree, and I think that's what I always found frustrating about her is that even though she can ask Sailor Moon for help and she knows Sailor Moon could help her, at the same time she's hiding things from the person that could really help her.
Yeah.
How much time would have been saved? Time, energy, and all this other stuff that could have been
Sailor
saved.
Guardians.
If the second she landed, if she was just like, "I'm from the future."
Yeah. I mean, have you read the manga?
I'm only halfway through. So
okay.
I'm a little ahead, so I go a little ahead every act. So,
right.
But
okay. Well, not to spoil anything, but it might change people's perspectives on Chibiusa because her ultimate dream is to be like an adult woman, to come into her own and be a woman. And she's cursed to be a little girl. Like she's due to the silver crystal. She's 5 years old for permanently. She's 900 years old due to time travel, and she can never fulfill that.
Yeah, that was something that surprised me in this episode, is that she mentioned that she's done this multiple times. And she's like, no matter how many times I've done it. Have either of you seen Madoka by any chance?
Yes. I have not.
But never mind. Kind of like that.
Exactly.
For those of you who have seen, you can see a direct parallel.
Yeah.
Now I have to see it.
You do.
Okay,
you
bye.
Really do.
You really do. Go watch Madoka. It's really good.
So okay,
but she also hinted at the overall plot of the thing, that if she got the future silver crystal with the past silver crystal, something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why she's been keeping it a secret.
She's risking it anyway.
That's true.
She's still planning on crossing the stream.
I mean, she straight up did end up stealing Sailor Moon's brooch.
Right.
Or what is that what it's called? A brooch, yeah. And
which was not very well protected. It's on a hanger in her bedroom.
Exactly, on a hanger in her bedroom on her uniform. All right.
Which I was also kind of wondering, wouldn't Artemis and Luna have had the foresight to put tracking devices in all of their transformation devices to prevent things like this, or for when, I don't know, a Sailor Scout gets kidnapped, you might be able to track where they are?
I just feel like she should swallow that brooch or something.
Or at least the crystal.
Yeah, exactly, the crystal. So she ends up after a lot of reluctance, she does end up saying, look, this is I'm trying to save Earth 3,000 years in the future and all that stuff. So what do you think of all this tying up together towards the end with everything with Chibiusa?
Well, it's kind of weird because, again, we all come from different perspectives. Some of us have read the manga. Some of us have seen the original series.
A long time ago.
But for me, I'm really excited because we're getting to see Sailor Pluto coming up.
Yes.
And according to BuzzFeed, she's the one I need to go drinking with.
Yes. Did you ever do that BuzzFeed?
No.
Okay, so there's a guys, and to our listeners, there is a BuzzFeed where which Sailor Moon or Sailor Scout should you go drinking with?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I bet it's, I don't know. I want it to be Jupiter. Like, my favorite is Mercury, but I bet Jupiter is a ton of fun to hang out with.
I'm sure. I got Venus and she got Pluto.
Okay. I'll have to find out and come back.
Yeah. But, okay, so let's talk a little bit about, I'm trying to tie everything in. Let's talk a little bit, no, it's okay. Let's talk a little bit about, I was going to call him Darian Mamo-chan because we see, he opens his little box.
Yes.
And we got the little gem.
Yeah.
So I was surprised because I didn't think that they were ever going to kind of reference anything that happened in the previous arc ever again. So seeing them actually pop up and like Jedi.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a direct parallel to the channeling stuff.
Yes.
That Pets did, or not Pets, whatever her name was. This one.
The baddies. The baddies.
Spectre sister for this
Which
one.
I do want to talk about that because, again, that was something that surprised me about this episode. But I was really moved by that because because you're absolutely right. Mamo-chan hasn't been given a lot of development in terms of like the story arc that he's going through and trying to come into his own so he can protect the people that he cares about. And this was kind of a nice little callback to everything that had gone on in the previous arc, and it was just sad to see.
It is sad, but it's also kind of nice to see them, and I really wish that they would be alive again and all that stuff in the right way.
Yeah, because it makes me okay. I'm okay with it because I hated that they pulled from the manga that they were the direct love interest for each of the scouts. I was like, nah, we don't need that.
Why didn't you like that?
It
Really?
just felt like it was forced, and it didn't really
You felt
it just
like it was
happened
a
to
little
line up.
fanficky.
Yeah.
I like that. I wish that they developed more on their own love stories.
I don't mind that. I hate that they just threw it out there and then didn't do it.
That's where it felt forced, I think.
Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
But
it's funny that you brought up with Mamoru because I talked about the names the last time I was here a little bit and didn't get into Tuxedo Mask's Chiba Mamoru. And Mamoru is the Japanese verb to protect. So literally his name is protection or something.
so awesome. Yeah. And
Which
now,
is ironic because he keeps getting kidnapped.
well, it's funny because he does seem to have courage, but he's always he's always admitting like, I don't have power, I can't do this. But lo and behold, it's like, I feel something in my hand.
And then the name of it, Tuxedo La Smoking Bomber. People were confused about that, but the way that I see it, La Smoking is like a term for in fashion when it could be a black tie event. Like La Smoking is wearing like smoking jackets or like a tuxedo, so it fits into that type of thing.
I was
They're
just
all
really
types of jackets.
expecting to hear come.
That would be a little weird.
Yeah. It would have come right out of nowhere, but I wasn't familiar with the fact that he could do that in the first place, so it seemed like it came out of nowhere.
My head feels hot.
I mean, this came out of nowhere too. But I mean, that was kind of cool because we are now seeing more development on his end. We have an admirer that suddenly was obsessed about him.
Speaking of which, so many secondary characters.
They brought them back.
They brought back people I was never expecting to see.
Including Jupiter's was the same guy. He's like, I haven't seen her in a while.
Yeah, and then Naru and Umino, Sailor Moon's friends.
I have a question about that because when they talk to Usagi and they're like, hey, we have a DVD, and it's the DVD of the villain, channeling things.
Yeah.
And then we cut to a live feed of her on TV.
I know, I was a little confused.
It was a DVD of the TV broadcast. That's how I understood it.
But it felt like it was like at the same time.
Yeah, it's
right.
like, so So did they pop in a DVD at the same time that she just happened to be on TV? Or did the writers forget that it was a DVD
right.
as they were writing it?
Also, like, based off of that, like, she had a TV appearance, and so did the one from Mercury.
Yeah.
And, like, all of a sudden, these busty women with black marks on their forehead are showing up on
Everyone's
TV.
like, what's going on with this?
Nobody says that. Yeah, everyone's like, oh, that's perfectly okay.
No one's confused at all. It's like, all right, nice little scar over there.
Right.
Anytime I get really frustrated by that, I do have to remind myself again that this is a world where the Sailor Scouts can go out and no one recognizes them.
Yeah.
So I have to keep reminding myself.
I will say, not a day goes by that whenever I watched the acts, I'm thinking, I really wish I could rock Sailor Moon's hair.
No, I know.
Don't you guys think, like, oh god?
And I've seen wigs too, and it's a mess.
I'm sure.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
I've seen people pull off the double buns before, but I've never seen anybody pull off the double buns with pigtails.
With the pigtails, super long, gorgeous. But
Chibi's would be even bigger with, like, the rabbit
it's all
ear.
pointy and stuff. Yeah, kind of like the oldest Spectre sister.
Right.
So, but thanks for reminding. Let's talk really quick about Usagi's friends, because we haven't seen them in a really long time, and the redheaded friend, Naru, ends up saying, I really wish I can help her. I know she's in another world.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
It brings out the humanity of Usagi, and, like, the Usagi that we see now is totally different than the one we from the beginning of the series.
Totally. Mm-hmm.
And, like, she comes out and she was like, Venus is not going to get captured. Like, oh, bam! I know what to do. And she almost took her head off with her tiara at first, and then, like, blast her with the escalation.
Yeah.
So she's, like, in charge, knows what to do now.
She's definitely getting stronger.
But it's taking away from being the schoolgirl and the friend.
That's something that I forget basically every time I watch this series, is that these are kids. Like, Tuxedo Mask, even though he looks like he's a college student, he's in high school.
Yeah.
And, like, these are girls in, I want to say 8th grade?
I think they're 8th grade, yeah.
So I always forget that, because they, after a while, they are soldiers.
Right.
And, it's just really funny to, like, go back to that school setting and just see how isolated that makes them from the rest of their friends.
So it was kind of nice to get a reminder of exactly where they are in normal life, which doesn't really exist to them anymore. But let's talk about the bad, mean people. Oh man, I will tell you, like, when I read this part of the comic, I got really confused.
Oh, okay.
And so when I watched the act, I also got confused, because it's like, they're bad, but who's really in charge?
Just kind of take a side-eye glance at that creepy guy in the corner with no mouth, who also sounds evil. And
like, whatever he says to do, we're gonna do that.
He just pops up, and it's funny because the animation, they don't even move his animation. They're just like steam coming out or whatever.
Nothing suspicious or disquieting about that at all. Nothing weird about that.
And so, what's the second to oldest Spectre sister's name again? The one that's gonna avenge her sisters.
Starts with a C.
I don't remember.
Well, her.
She's dead now. It doesn't matter.
I know, because there's so many of the evil baddies this time around.
I felt so bad for her, and it was just a second, and I really wish that, again, I know we've talked about it before in previous episodes, that it's so different from the original anime, that it was so surprising that they were just killing them off when they got a happy ending. It was really sad to see her kind of channeling, the spirits of her sisters
from the other side,
knowing that in another world they got a happy ending.
Yeah.
But it was cool to see their sisters kind of pop up like that as well. And is she in a relationship with this Rubius? Or
he definitely kissed her.
Yeah, it seemed like it.
Oh, and then there's another guy that kind of looks like, I was going to say Darian.
Right, Mama.
So I'm like, what
Sapphire is how they're pronouncing his name.
Right, that's right.
In the old dub, he was Sapphire. And I will probably... I will probably just call them Diamond, Sapphire, Rubius, and Emerald.
Oh, see, okay, now that makes that makes it so much easier.
I will probably just call them by that, because that's how it was pronounced in the dub, so whatever.
So what do you guys think of her trying to avenge her sisters, obviously failing, and also not capturing Venus, which is great?
Yeah. And that was a welcome break.
Yeah, it's like, oh, thank goodness.
I loved Sailor Venus too. She was just like, "You're late."
But I think like a lot of I saw that and I laughed too. But it goes back to the point of like she's used to doing this on her own, and then she was depending on someone else. She's like, I know that Sailor Moon's going to show up eventually, and when she does, she's like, took you long enough.
Yeah,
like I knew I wasn't going to lose. Yeah, but anyway,
yeah. So I mean,
I feel kind of bad for her because I feel like they didn't necessarily deserve this fate because they are being manipulated. But I was also really surprised at seeing Rubius not being a giant jerk because again in the original series he was so emotionally
giant jerk.
He was emotionally manipulative, and so at first I was really surprised that he just kind of kissed her on the cheek and that he's talking about how the wise man can't be trusted and everything like that when that role went to Sapphire in the original series. So I'm surprised that Rubius isn't a jerk.
Right. Well, and even in this one, we got a glimpse of Sapphire being like, do we really need to attack the Earth? Like, do we really need to do this?
It's like, oh, you make me feel bad for thinking you're bad, you know.
But because their development is coming in such short, quick increments, I don't know. I do feel like it's a little bit rushed, but this entire series is rushed.
Yes.
So.
Like I said, like this particular act just felt like there's so much information being thrown at you. But that being said, I'm happy Sailor Venus is still around. Yeah. She obviously has a bigger purpose at the time, and so does Mamo-chan because he's got powers now.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about this act?
I think we covered everything that I wanted to talk.
We talked about the villains. We talked about Momo-chan.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be super fun to see Pluto and to see that whole arc.
I'm so excited about that. Okay, so before we get to news and gossip, let's go to predictions first. And let's talk about predictions. Isn't this the best thing ever?
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Jazz hands.
So what do you predict, Megan?
Well, from the preview, it looks like they're hopping in to go through time to the future, which, again, that's happening so quickly and it's so different because back in the original series, they all went together as a team with everybody, but it looks like it's just going to be Chibiusa, Usagi, and Venus and Momo-chan. Yeah. And so it's a much smaller force, so it's really kind of sad that they're on their own while everybody else is being captured. But they're going to meet Sailor Pluto. I don't know how the manga goes, but I would love for Sailor Pluto to join the team and like just. I know that's not going to happen. She has a job to do, but
she has a job to do. She might take some time to drink with you, but that's about it. Yeah.
That'd be great. Take 5.
Right.
Go to happy hour.
Yeah. Like meanwhile, time and space collapses.
Do you have any wishful thinking or?
Well, I do like what they've been doing with hinting on whether Chibiusa is an enemy or a friend, because I really think that that's going to come into play later. They've kind of hinted at it in like the glimpse that we've seen.
That is interesting that they keep going back and forth with that, where when she kind of maybe will become an enemy.
Yeah,
it's like maybe if they're not pushing her in that direction, maybe that wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
They keep kind of trusting her, though. Right. You know, she's done a lot of messed up stuff, stealing her brooch, and.
But then again, she said that she's time traveled and done this a few times, and we've seen that there's multiple timeline versions of people. So it'd be fun to see a timeline version of Chibiusa where she has developed into a villain.
Yes, that's true. You got the shoulder dance, Xander. We'll see. I predict that next. I'm actually really looking forward to Act 20. I can't believe we're at 20 already. And I hopefully I don't know how far we're gonna get compared to the manga, but I hope we get to, I can't even say it, a point.
Yeah. It's hard not to like spoil things.
Yeah, like a certain point. And I'll tell you,
because a franchise has been around for 20 years.
Right.
It's hard not to spoil things.
So in 2 weeks, I'll let you know if it came to that point. But let's also do some news and gossip.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, so someone tweeted me. Gosh, I forgot your name. I'm so sorry, but thank you so much for tweeting. And he tweeted that in Japan they currently have a Sailor Moon clothing clothing
line.
Clothing line, yeah,
Wow.
there. I don't know if it's up, but it's not up. I don't know. That's okay, no problem. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So look it up, Sailor Moon clothing line in Japan. Google that, and it'll be there.
What kind of clothing is it?
It's just regular clothes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not even necessarily like with logos or anything.
So it's not regular T-shirts. It's more just kind of from a design standpoint. It's Sailor Moon inspired.
Inspired by,
Yeah, I guess so. But it looks like regular clothes to me, some of it. So
Is it kind of like that console to closet blog where it's like you create outfits based
color
on certain
blocking.
yeah,
characters?
it's a little bit like that, and I think it's really cool. Yeah. Japan knows what's up.
Yeah.
So, do you guys have any other fun news and gossip stuff?
No, I don't think so.
I just keep thinking of those pins from the last one. The ones that look like cookies. Those are delicious.
They sell Sailor Moon pins, and they look like cookies.
Oh,
It's so cute.
that's adorable.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
A lot of Sailor Moon stuff going on. You can always Google Sailor Moon clothing. There's all this random stuff. I love it. If I can dress in that every day, I would.
Yeah.
I mean, I could, but,
Break the bank.
Yeah,
Importing clothes from Japan.
Exactly.
Definitely gonna look that up when I get home.
Yeah, me too.
I'll send you guys a link, and I'll actually put that on YouTube so you guys can check it out as well. Thank you to the man who tweeted it, because I'm sorry I forgot your name and I can't find it. So, that being said, that completes our show. Thank you guys so much for listening, and follow my friends over here. We're at...
Really quick, I wanted to shout out Brandon Christopher on Twitter. He's been live tweeting with us.
Oh, nice.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Brandon Christopher, for participating on Twitter. And you can tweet at me directly at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin.
Did he say anything cool?
Oh yeah,
I'm sure he did, but
it's good to see the maturation of Usagi as the show has gone on. Hashtag ABTV Sailor Moon.
Nice.
And someone needs to make a keyboard cat meme of Artemis using the
I'm going to retweet that right now because that's perfect.
adorable.
And Xander, where can people follow you?
Yes, on Twitter at Xanderific, 2 R's, 1 F, and at YouTube /XanderVlogs.
All right, and you can follow me at Kaorius, Kaorious, on Instagram as well as Twitter. Follow the whole entire AfterBuzz team here at AfterBuzz TV. We have a crap ton of shows.
Yeah.
I mean, really, a lot. So rate, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. And remember, all throughout the next 2 weeks before you see us again, hashtag ABTV Sailor Moon for comments, questions, and good news and gossip and all that stuff. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys very soon for another Sailor Moon Crystal after show.
Yay!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.